Hey, I want to show you my latest fiddle that I just finished. It's a 5-string, number 275. And this fiddle is going to be going to some folks in Michigan as a gift for somebody. And I just strung her up a few hours ago. She's spanking brand new off the bench. And she's yet to be named. She's going to be named by the owners of this fiddle. And it's a one-piece Western big leaf curly maple back with a little sunburst in the middle that I like to do, and little carvings on the corners. Beautiful flame on this piece of wood. I was really fortunate to be able to get a hold of this piece of wood. And the ribs are same wood. I do a little shading on the curves to kind of accentuate the curvature of the design of the fiddle. A little darker varnish around the curves. And the lower bout is one piece, wraps all the way around, so there's no joint where the end button is. And the top is a Engelmann spruce from Vermont, and it's lightly antiqued. I'd like to do a little shading, a little variation in color of my tops. I think it looks nicer than just one plain color that looks maybe painted on. And I do my little carvings in the corners too on the top. My sound holes are kind of a hybrid. They're not Stradivarius or Guarneri styles. I just kind of came up with my own style and shape of sound holes that kind of lend towards improvement in the voicing. My big goal in making violins is voicing more than anything. And that's what I strive for. I have a Whitner composite tailpiece, 5-string fine-tuner tailpiece, and an ebony Guarneri style chin rest. And of course, ebony fingerboard. And I have Whitner precision peg tuners that have built-in gears in the peg heads and that move the shaft of the tuning pegs, but the parts of the pegs that are set into the cheeks of the peg box don't move, so they're solid in there. And the only thing that moves when you turn the head is where the strings are wrapped. So as a result, it doesn't come loose. They don't get too tight. They don't get too loose, with weather changes. Also, for fine tuners, it's a 5-to-1 ratio. And so they can also be easily turned to fine tune the instrument. Even though I do have the Whitner fine tune tailpiece, it's nice to have both. So if you're playing and if you feel like the fiddle's a little bit out of tune, you can either tune it by the fine tuners or by the pegs. Especially for cross tuners, people who do cross tuning and playing outside in the weather. If you notice, my peg head is a little longer than a standard 4-string violin. And the reason I do that is to open up more space for that 5th peg. A 5-string violin that started with a 4-string neck and was modified or changed. This C-string peg is stuck way up under the scroll, where it's really hard to get to put the string on it. And it also has to be routed out more, and it weakens the peg box. So I make my peg box a little longer so I have adequate space between the pegs. And also for tuning, so the space between the tuning heads is adequate, so it doesn't feel jammed up to your fingers. I space my strings at 5 millimeters apart at the string nut, just like a standard violin, and I don't make my the width of my fingerboard a whole lot wider. So it's not hard to get used to if a person's used to playing the four-string violin. Picking this up, it won't really feel a whole lot different. The only difference is there's not as much overhang of the C string and the E string. There's enough to play, but there's not as much because of the extra string. I have it strung up with prim strings, and it sounds good with prims. A lot of people don't like prims, but I like them on my fiddles. They seem to, my fiddles tend to have a dark, woody kind of voicing, and the prims help to balance that out and give it a little bit of edge. Other violins that have a lot of edginess to begin with and maybe metallic harshness, especially on the high end, the prims actually don't sound as good on those fiddles, but they sound good on mine. Yeah, so that's pretty much, I'll play a little bit if I can. Let me put my shoulder rest on. Just to give you an idea of what she sounds like. It's hard to tell on small computer speakers, but get an idea anyway. I love the C string on this fiddle. It rattles my chin when I play it. It's very strong. Problem with a lot of five strings that are out there is the fifth string, the C string, a lot of times is kind of floppy sounding and a little weak. And I just don't like five strings that have that. You know, when you play the other strings and you go down to the fifth string and it kind of, the sound kind of disappears. That's not fun. So this fiddle has it. I just have to tune it. And the E string is nice and sweet, nice woody E. Blends well with the A string with the open double stop. Sounds like one string when it's in tune. And then the mids are nice too. Very balanced. Sorry, my fingers keep hitting the other strings. Anyway, this is 275, yet to be named, and it's gone to a good home. And thanks for watching. Bye.